Hello everyone, welcome to the very first episode of the Sims 4 Supernatural, which is a brand new Sims series kicking off on my channel. I've only recently just finished wrapping up the main Sims 4 series that I did, 50 episodes of that. We did a university spin-off as well, so there's a big kind of chunk of story there. Oh, hello. And you want to get started a bit early, don't you, buddy? I want you to stand there for a little bit longer if you don't mind. But yes, we are starting a brand new series away from those. It features some characters that appeared in previous series, but you're not, if you're like brand new to this series, for instance, you aren't familiar with these characters at all, then you're not going to be lost and confused. You know, I'll explain the minor things you may need to know, but outside of that, a lot of this series is going to be brand new stuff, so you don't feel the need to kind of want to go back and catch up on like 50 plus episodes of Sim stuff prior to this. I want it to be somewhat a separate thing, but we are going to be following a character that we had introduced in that previous series. This guy right here, this is Daniel Millard, and he's actually kind of an alien to start it off, since the clue's in the name of the series. It's a supernatural series, but yeah, Daniel's an alien. His mother was an alien called Willow. His father was just a human called Rocco, but then Rocco then went on to become a sorcerer and stuff. So Daniel's very used to the idea of the supernatural. He was kind of a bit lost with his life. He didn't really know what he wanted to do with it. And then just kind of spontaneously, when he was like scouring forums and stuff online, he kind of got interested in like vampire lore and everything. That led him to the attention of the kind of head vampire in this local area called Vlad, who kind of set him off on a quest to track down a vampire called Kai Lockwood, who'd recently returned to the area, this mysterious vampire. They managed to track him down, and Kai actually invited Daniel to move in with him, because Kai's just found a new residence to live, and there's a bunch of people living there. There's a room free, and Daniel's quite keen to explore the supernatural, potentially as a career, just right now as an interest as well. And another interest seems to be keeping his football up, which is very impressive, to be honest. But yeah, Daniel kind of took him up on the offer, and here he is. It's moving day. He's in Forgotten Hollow right now, which is where the house is. He's going to reunite with Kai. He's going to finally meet the landlady who's in charge of the place, meet all the other residents that are living there. And that's going to be kind of what this series is about, following this group of supernatural people as they go about their lives. And I like to think I've got some cool stories planned for them. I guess we'll have to wait and see what you guys think to decide that. But either way, I'm really excited to kind of kick this off and introduce you guys to a lot of new characters. So yeah, if you are here from the main series, you would have seen Daniel before. You've seen him from birth up to this point. He's currently a young adult. And yeah, I think this is going to be him making a lot of new cool friends and potentially finding a good career for him with the supernatural. So yes, he has arrived at Forgotten Hollow. I mean, it's a pretty gloomy looking place. Let's not lie. But I think Daniel's kind of excited by that. It's very different to what he's used to. He lived in Brindleton Bay and Glimmerbrook for a lot of his life. So he's kind of used to more idyllic looking locations, sun's out all the time, stuff like that. So this is very different, but therefore new and exciting for him. So Daniel needs to arrive at his new home, which is right here. This is the Fell Mansion, owned by Valerie Fell, who we're going to be meeting soon. She owns the house. She's the landlady, who's kind of been inviting people to live there now. She's kind of opened up all the various rooms and beds in the house to people recently. And Daniel's one of the people who is joining. I guess he got a good reference from Kai, who is already living here. He'd been here a little while, and they've been waiting for him to arrive for quite some time now. He had some other family stuff that he needed to sort, but now that's all over with, Daniel can move in. But yeah, this mansion's kind of been in Valerie's family for quite a few generations now. I think she's kind of been a bit nervous about opening it up to people. She was very reluctant for a long time. She's since been convinced to do so and kind of get involved with people. But we'll learn more about her and some of the other characters as Daniel arrives. So let's actually get you here, shall we? You're still playing with that football all that time. he was on the phone at the start of the episode, if you saw. He was on the phone to his cousin Tara, who he's very close to. He's just letting him know that he got here safely, and he'll let her know how things are. And the first one to greet Daniel as he arrives is Kai, giving him a pep talk. So this is Kai Lockwood, a vampire. He's 120 years old. He was turned into a vampire in his mid-20s or so. He can't remember too much about his earlier life, just because it's been so long. He's kind of forgotten a lot of stuff. He hasn't kept records or anything. So he doesn't know a lot about some of his life before. The people he knew back then, he has a few glimpses of them. Some he doesn't remember what they look like. Some he just can't remember their names. Bits and pieces like that. And he's recently, he was living in this area for a long time. He was turned into a vampire when he lived here. And he's recently kind of returned there. So yeah, he was one of the first people to kind of move into this mansion when Valerie opened it up to people. And from there, he met Daniel and invited him to stay. So there's some stuff he knows about his past that he isn't too keen to talk about yet. There's, you know, everyone's got some baggage, I guess. And let me show you his dark form, just so you can see what he looks like in full vampire mode. So if he would kind of like want to drink from someone, for instance, he would turn to his dark form like this. But one of the terms of him actually getting a room here with Valerie was that she insisted he only drink from actual other Sims, etc., if they are like willing volunteers. If not, he's going to have to settle with like drinking some plasma packs, which I think he's kind of more than happy to do if it secures him a room here and a fresh new start away from his life before. Actually, the whole gang is in this room, all chilling. I like that one of Daniel's first instincts as soon as he comes is to see what books they've got. So yeah, we've got the rest of the gang here. What's Daniel doing? Oh, he's mopping up some puddles, and the toilet's broken, which isn't a great first impression. But there is a reason that things break a lot in this house. Even the shower's broken. And that is from another character that we'll probably meet a bit later on. Okay, so I think it makes sense also, as soon as Daniel arrives, to actually introduce himself to his new landlady. So this is Valerie Fell, of the Fell Mansion name. She's actually a witch. She's been a witch for a little while now, and like I've already mentioned, she's had this house in her family for generations at this point. But she was quite a recluse. She was a bit of a loner. She didn't really interact with people. She only really had like one friend around the house, who's a ghost that haunts the mansion. And she's recently kind of been convinced to open up to people and be like, well, you know what, you've got all these spare rooms going around. This could be a perfect chance for you to actually make some friends, meet people, get yourself out there, you know. You've been on your own for so long. Maybe it's time to kind of make a change in your life and actually make those connections. Maybe there's a reason why Valerie's been very reluctant to make those connections for some time, but she has been convinced. And actually, this was the person who convinced her. This is Nell Doe, because we don't actually know her surname. You know, it's like John Doe and Jane Doe, if you don't know their name. So yeah, this is Nell. Valerie actually gave her the name Nell because they didn't know her name when they first met. Nell had no idea who she was, where she came from. All we do know is that she's actually been haunting this mansion for as long as she can remember. So she's been around this house for a while. This is like the only friend that Valerie's kind of had in this house while she's been on her own. And they don't know, you know, a lot about her life or anything. They can get some hints as to how she died, because as you can probably see, she's kind of dripping wet, which doesn't allude to anything great, but obviously now can't remember exactly the circumstances of how she died. She just remembers being in this house and haunting it. So she's assuming she maybe died in the house somehow, but she has no recollection of it. So when Valerie kind of moved back into this mansion, she found that Nell was here, and they kind of had to become friends because Nell couldn't really leave this place. She seemed to be tied to it. And as you can see, she likes possessing items around the house, and therefore that breaks them. That's why... oh, hello, Daniel. That's why the shower and the toilet, again, have been broken, because she just likes to have a bit of fun and everything. And she actually, as she spent years and years in this house, she got a bit lonely, a bit bored, and that's why she was the one trying to convince Valerie to actually open up the house and say, you know, I kind of want to meet some new people. So as long as they're like okay with ghosts and everything, maybe you should start renting out those rooms. That would be good fun. And it gives us both a chance to kind of meet new people. And I think she kind of nagged and nagged for quite some time, and Valerie eventually just caved and went, well, fine, if it will shut you up. And that's why they thought, well, if we find people who are more like supernaturally inclined, for instance, like vampires or aliens, anyone who's kind of not too freaked out by the idea of like supernatural, the ghosts or anything, they'd be perfect people to live here, because then she could actually talk to them and hang out with them, and people wouldn't, you know, lose their minds that a ghost is just suddenly talking to them. So yeah, she's been very happy that Valerie eventually agrees to let people here, and now we've got a great big house full of people. Daniel's going to go and have a look around the rest of the house, I guess. Now he's got washed and cleaned and everything. So yeah, I think after he's kind of got himself together, he will introduce himself to some other members of the house. And I think the last one that I haven't introduced you guys to yet is this guy right here. This is Jonah. Jonah Harrison. He's just a normal human, but he is aware of the supernatural kind of stuff. He won't say how and why, but when he kind of found this place, he made it very clear, like, okay, look, I've seen aliens about, but you know, aliens are a more kind of well-known thing in the Sims universe now. So it's not kind of a big like, oh my god, aliens exist. A lot of people know. He's like, you know, that's fine by me. If there's any other surprises along the way, that's also fine by me. I just kind of desperately need somewhere to live. He used to live on Solani. Oh, we've got a fire. That's a good start, isn't it? Where's the fire? Where's the fire? Valerie, what are you doing? Well, that's very brave of Kai to try and burn the house and stop the fire. Wow. Wow, Valerie. Well, that is the kind of chaotic nature of this group that you can expect in this series, I guess. My goodness. I mean, Valerie, maybe, you know, maybe take a shower and try and get yourself cleaned up. All singed, look, that's not ideal. That's probably embarrassing. Welcome to the house, Daniel. Oh, it's just caught on fire. But yeah, anyway, back to Jonah. Or actually, you can even see, look, he's confident from interacting with aliens, so he's more than okay with it. He just kind of wanted a fresh start away from Solani, where he used to live. And this was kind of the perfect opportunity, I guess. It came around at the perfect time. He seemed pretty desperate to move in here. So he got a room, and because he's cool with the supernatural stuff, he's a welcome addition to the household. So Daniel's just made himself a coffee. He's just kind of getting used to the facilities. Valerie was like, oh, hello, Nell. Valerie was just like, sorry about the little fire thing earlier. I promise that's not, you know, an everyday occurrence. But she's also kind of saying, you know, make sure you take a good look around the house. Your room is upstairs on the left side of the house. So feel free to kind of put your stuff in there that you've got with you or anything. And he's also said, well, I've actually been given some gym equipment from one of the houses I grew up in. My cousin's kind of given me some gym equipment. 'Cause that's a recent interest he's kind of taken up in as well. And she's like, I'll just kind of stick it anywhere. You know, I'm not kind of too attached to how the house looks right now, all the decor and everything. As time goes on, I'm willing to kind of accept suggestions as to what you want to change up with the house. So if you want to like change the curtains or change some of the furniture, change the walls, just run it by me and we can kind of work it out. But I'm not against really changing anything. And as you can see now, there's kind of blue with confidence, because ghosts kind of can turn the colour of their moods. She's just really, really excited that she's got loads of new people living here now. So yeah, obviously Valerie has been living in this house for a little while. Nell's haunted it for as long as she can remember. So they both are kind of like the original two. They know each other quite well. Kai was then the next one to move in. Oh, hello. We have Annie. I assume she's a neighbour. She's just visiting. And she seems to kind of know these guys quite well, so I imagine they're just kind of familiar with each other. So just meeting the neighbours. I mean, Daniel's completely ignored the neighbour probably looking up some more vampire secrets or something, which you can just ask Kai about now. It's okay. But yeah, Kai was the next one to kind of move in. Jonah arrived probably about a month or so ago, and then obviously today Daniel arrived. So I know you're hungry, but let's take a look at where you're going to be sleeping. So Kai and Jonah, they've gotten along quite well, so they're just kind of catching up. And Now's kind of thanking Valerie for actually agreeing to let people stay here and allowing her to make new friends, meet some new people. I think she's really excited about that. And Valerie's like, well, you wouldn't shut up about it, so I guess we're here now, and I hope I don't regret it, basically. So Daniel seems quite happy with the little space he has. He even got a little bit there where we might be able to fit his gym equipment, actually. Okay, yeah, that fits in there pretty snugly, not too bad. So yeah, this is where Daniel's going to be sleeping. Pretty happy that he got a double bed all to himself. This is Valerie's room. She sleeps in here. I think Jonah, he basically has this whole space. No one sleeps in this other bed. He was kind of happy to just take the single bed. It was a cheaper room. It was the one that was available first, because by that point when Jonah actually kind of applied to live here, Daniel had already been given a room and secured it and promised it. So he was like, oh, really, anything's fine, just give me anything. So he was happy to kind of settle with the single bed as long as it meant he could actually move in. So he can always kind of, if he gets a job or anything, he can probably afford to expand it or just push those two beds together, I don't know. Nell's a ghost, so she doesn't really sleep all that much. If she ever does, she probably would just take that extra bed, but she doesn't really need to, being dead and all. And then right at the top here, away from everything else, there's a little coffin, just in case Kai ever needs a nap. So they all have a decent space, but Daniel got a pretty good deal kind of getting this room to himself. So yeah, we've got all of that, and I guess we should start putting some of the things up. So he's put a few things up. He actually bought the painting on the left there at a flea market a little while ago. This was actually painted for him by someone called Charlotte, who was his uncle's wife. She kind of painted that. Alien abduction. Daniel's an alien. He found it quite funny. So he happily accepted that present from her. Sadly, Charlotte's no longer with us. But she did live a good life. And then he also bought this painting at the flea market as well at the same time as that other one. On his little bedside table here. These are both kind of reminders of his dad. His dad actually sculpted that wooden horse on the right. So he kind of inherited that when he died. Also, just before his father, Rocco, died, obviously I mentioned he was a sorcerer. He gave him this potion of magical aura, just saying, like, it's a reminder, keepsake, to remind yourself of me. You can use it if you want, you can just keep it around. So he's got that in there as well. His birth certificate up there, kind of just show that he's an alien. And then finally, that's a photo of him and his boyfriend Bentley, who is currently at university. So they're kind of quite far apart at the moment. They're trying long distance out, seeing how it works. But yeah, it makes sense that he'd put that photo up in his room as well. So it's already starting to feel a bit more personalised and a bit more like Daniel. You know, he's not sure about all these super long curtains and stuff. But he's got some reminders of his loved ones. He always keeps a book that his mother wrote in his pocket as well, called Dear Daniel. And he's got some workout stuff. So, you know, he's pretty happy as like a foundation of where he can live. Pretty damn good room. Plus, it also leads into kind of it's a small ensuite, granted, but an ensuite nonetheless, so that's nothing to kind of sniff at. So I'm sure he's pretty happy with that. So obviously Valerie kind of owns a lot of the furniture in the house anyway, so all of this is hers. Kai kind of bought that coffin for himself. Now doesn't really have a space because she is, you know, non-corporeal ghost and all. But I think Daniel kind of did have a look around him and noted with interest that Jonah's room doesn't really have anything of his in it. There isn't really anything to kind of define him or anything. So he's wondering why that is, why Jonah didn't bring any of his stuff from his previous home here, and why he kind of really just started fresh. Seems odd to him, but he's not going to press it, obviously, they've only just met. But they're all chilling out together in the same room, quite a bit actually, which is nice. They're obviously all instantly getting along. Kai is just kind of playing chess by himself, which, you know, happens. Daniel's mopping up some puddles. This will happen a lot. Nell leaves puddles behind as she kind of floats about. That's just the nature of things. So everyone kind of has to clean up after her. But hopefully they don't mind. And I think Daniel's trying to just prove to Valerie that, look, I'm a good person that lives here. I'm a good tenant. I'll clean up all the messes. It's fine. Oh, here we go. As soon as I put the gym equipment out, Daniel's actually gone up to use it, which is fair enough. You know, you've gone down to chat with Nell. Oh, run with chest out. Jonah's actually gone to. He's like, cool gym equipment. I'm using it, I guess. I imagine he would have asked permission. I don't have it in my head that Jonah's particularly rude or anything. So there we go. It's nice to know that Daniel has a workout buddy, I guess. He definitely seems to be into that all as well. And I guess since Jonah doesn't really have any stuff of his own, he's looking forward to having new things around the house that he can kind of look at. So Kai is just kind of asking Valerie, so what do you think of Daniel? He seems cool, right? And Valerie does seem to be impressed with him so far. He seems like a nice enough kid. And I was like, I think he's really cool. Aliens are cool. I know you didn't ask my opinion, but I don't want to say it. I'm sorry, I'm excited. She gets very excited about things. So yeah, I think Kai's just kind of saying, I think he'll fit right in. It's all good. So they've just had a bit of a workout. Now Jonah's kind of like, if you don't want to, it's absolutely fine, but can I kind of see your alien form? You know, because I think it'd be quite cool. I've never seen an alien like really up close. I know they exist, but I haven't, gotten a good look at one. So there we go. He complies. They're both pretty excited by it as well. Nell's like, oh my god, that's amazing. You look so cool. I'm blue too right now. This is amazing. We can be like blue buddies. But yeah, Daniel doesn't often actually show like his alien form that often. So he's kind of looking forward to being able to maybe openly share that a bit more, that side of himself. It's not something he's really explored much, just because of how he was raised and everything. But maybe this is something to kind of embrace a bit more now that he lives in a room and a house full of supernatural beings. But yeah, everyone seems to be getting along quite well. I haven't kind of forced any friendships just yet, but everyone seems to just be talking and chatting really nicely, so I'm quite happy with that. I didn't know if there'd be people who just naturally didn't get along or anything, especially Valerie. Valerie does have to learn the trait. She doesn't necessarily like talking with people all that much, but she's actually been pretty good with everyone so far, and maybe that's going to be a nice learning curve for her, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, everyone's kind of getting along great. Where's Kai? What are you up to? Oh, he's coming to mop some more puddles up as well. Nell leaves a lot of puddles. That's true. But yeah, I'm liking this group of people quite a bit so far, and I'm hoping you guys are interested in the characters, their backstories, where things may go from here. Now, once again, it's just possessing everything in sight, but that's okay. Oh, there we go. There's some wholesomeness happening here. Let's just replace all of this. We've got plenty of money in this household. It's fine. So we can kind of just replace things. And yeah, everyone seems kind of excited to have a full house now, because there's no more rooms. That's kind of all the bedrooms filled. And I guess we'll see what this kind of group gets up to in future. So Valerie's just kind of properly, officially welcoming Daniel, being like, well, welcome to the family, kid. It's crazy here, but I think you're going to fit in just fine. And I think Daniel appreciates that. So maybe they can all even kind of have a drink together to celebrate. That'd be fun. So yeah, we're going to properly celebrate, and Jonah's going to make up some drinks for everyone. He seemed quite keen to kind of be like, oh, drinks, let's use the bar, I'll be on it. So yeah, he's just kind of getting everyone the drink. They're all going to kind of toast to Daniel's arrival and to have a full house of people here. And there we go, we have a whole group of people hoping that, they're going to get along great in this house together. A brand new venture for a lot of them. Very unlike what some of them have been used to before. But they're hoping this could be the start of some really beautiful friendships as they live together and explore a whole new adventure. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. But yeah, I think Daniel feels very welcomed. And aside from, the kitchen catching on fire as soon as he walked through the door. And reading a ghost's mind. Nell was like, that was so cool, do it again, do it again. I don't know how well it worked, obviously, with her being a ghost and all. I'm not sure if you can read minds as an alien quite as well on ghosts, but regardless, everyone's kind of all chilling out, relaxing as the afternoon kind of kicks in. And yeah, Daniel feels very happy to be on this new supernatural adventure and to see where it takes him. I think he's pretty damn excited. So excited, he needs to go to the bathroom out of excitement from all the wine they just drank, but that's okay. And yeah, that is actually going to be everything for this first episode. It was just more so an introduction to everyone, just to let you know who all the characters are, get a bit of a sense of them, what we may or may not know about them yet, as stories kind of unravel and change. But I think I'm enjoying the chemistry of all 5 of them together a lot. I mentioned I was afraid they may not get on, but it seems to be all going quite well. So I'm excited to see the future for these guys and exactly what it all entails, and what what life at this house is going to bring for all the people in it. 5 people, all with their own stories that will hopefully be told as time goes on. And yeah, we'll see how Daniel and everyone else fares in this brand new life for them. I guess it's going to be pretty damn dramatic, if you ask me, and I would know because I've planned it out. But yeah, that is everything for this first episode. Just a slow introduction, and then we'll learn more about these guys a lot more as the episodes kind of progress. But hopefully you've all enjoyed this first little look at our brand new location, some brand new characters, and a few teases of some secrets that may be revealed, because there is a lot more than meets the eye with these guys, as I would assume you'd gather, because it's just episode 1 of the series. But yeah, as Daniel kind of soaks in the view, his new view of this new home, this new life at the Forgotten Hollow, as the sun starts to set on another day here, he's going to be wondering exactly what this new life will bring for him, and it's going to be quite something, I think. So stay tuned for that. And that's going to be everything for this first episode. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of the characters, etc. Who do you think may be hiding something? What do you think they could be hiding if they are? Which characters are you leaning towards liking so far? Are there any you're wary of? Let me know. And hopefully you'll be excited to see where this story takes these 5. I know I am, so I hope you are too. Either way, that's going to be everything. Until the next episode, thanks for watching.